Hey guys, welcome back to What If Naruto was the reincarnation of Sun-Wukong. And I'm sorry for being gone for 3 weeks. I've just been busy. And I don't want to bore you guys with this, so I'm just going to get right into it. So, after Naruto finished his mission, he would be at home. And Kakashi would just appear in his house, leaving Naruto frightened for a second. But then Naruto would ask Kakashi what he's doing in his house. Kakashi would tell him about the tuning exams and telling him he needs to train. Naruto would say, "So I only have 2 weeks to train?" Kakashi would nod. And he says, "Well, good luck training." And he would then body flicker away. Naruto would get up and start working out, doing push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups. And after, he went outside in his backyard and sparred with Lloyd for 3 hours straight. He did this for the first week. And after the first week, Lloyd would tell Naruto about Kurama. Naruto would first, be amazed. But then, he would, be able, he started to comprehend everything that was being told to him. So, Lloyd would take Naruto into his mindscape. And they would ask Kurama to train Naruto. Kurama would tell them no, but then Lloyd would tell Kurama, he was like, "I'll challenge you to a fight. And if I win, you have to train Naruto." Kurama would then say, "Alright. So now I'm doing this because I want you guys to see how strong Lloyd is." So Naruto opens the seal. And Kurama would then try to swipe at Lloyd. Lloyd would catch Kurama's paw, and he would hold his hands out. He would say, "Fire style, Royal Ember." And instead of it being a small fireball, it would be as big as Kurama's head. And he would shoot the fireball. It would hit Kurama straight in the stomach, wounding Kurama greatly. Kurama would then power up a tailed beast bomb. He would shoot the tailed beast bomb at Lloyd. Lloyd would go straight up to the beast bomb, grab his staff, and yell, "Lightning style! Scythe!" His staff would be engulfed with lightning, and then, a scythe, kind of how it's like, it's hard to explain. I'll show you guys a picture. Hold up. The scythe would look something like this, but gold and see-through and made of lightning. So, you would see lightning sparks all over it. And instead of, the handle looking like this, it'll look like Lloyd's staff. Lloyd would yell lightning style, "Scythe!" And he would slice straight through the beast bomb, and all the chakra would disappear. Kurama would be angered but amazed at the same time at how Lloyd with ease just cut through a tailed beast bomb. Lloyd would then disappear and then appear right in front of Kurama, holding his scythe in front of Kurama's head. He would tell Kurama that he won, and Kurama would then agree to teach Naruto. Naruto would be frozen with amazement, seeing how strong his friend is. When Lloyd would start fly down to Naruto, he would say, "Are you okay, Naruto?" Naruto's like, "That was so amazing." He was like, "You have to teach me that." And Lloyd would say, "Well, I guess I'll try." Now, we're going to time skip to the written part. And so, everything Naruto learned lightning style, black lightning wolf, and since he has royal release, it's going to be gold. So, gold lightning wolf, I guess. He also learned Mitsurugi, fire style Mitsurugi. It's like a big flame dragon. And yeah, it's really strong. It can overpower 3 water dragon Jutsus, depending on how strong the user is. And it at its full strength, so let's say someone like Lloyd was using it, it can basically disperse on like 9 tailed beast bombs. Yes. Coming from Kurama. Not like from just all 9 tailed beasts. No, coming straight from Kurama. Yeah, I know. Overpowered. So since Naruto's using it, it can overpower 2 of Shippuden Kakashi's Water Dragon Jutsu. And yes, I am really happy that I'm making Naruto overpowered. And let me know if you guys are happy with this too. I hope you are. He also learned lightning style Scythe, since Lloyd taught it to him. And he also learned how to fly. But he's not going to use it that much. But he will use it sometimes. And, he also learned Earth Style, Rock Riser. And so when he would stomp on the ground, it would make a bunch of golden spikes appear from the ground. And the spikes can stretch up to 5 meters away. And it can go literally anywhere. I said, yeah, so. And Sasuke was also training too. And things that Sasuke learned was, he learned lightning style Tiger's Claw. And like what it does is, if he was to swipe at you from far away, or punch, it sends a lightning bolt at you. Sorry, excuse me. It can send a lightning bolt at you. So it's good for long range and close combat. And he also learned combustion. And what it is he can like place marks that look like a little ember. And when he yells combust, they'll explode in flames. And right now he can only put 3 signs at a time. He can only put down 3 marks at a time. And he can use this jutsu 7 times a day. And as he gets stronger, he'll be able to do more marks. And forgot, one more jutsu that Naruto learned was, he called it Hedgehog. And the reason why I called it Hedgehog, because if you guys probably know who Sonic is. And Sonic does this thing where he like rolls in a ball and he like destroys his enemies. So this is a Earth style move. It's where rocks, like Naruto has rocks, like he basically turns like some of his body parts into hard rock. So like down, hit the middle of his chest, on his legs, on his back, all that. And he like rolls into a ball, like a buzzsaw, I guess. And he like moves around. He can cut through trees. He can So yeah, it's pretty strong. And another jutsu that Sasuke made, it was based off of Naruto's Limelight Blade. It's like it's like an arm blade, pretty much, made of lightning. And right now he calls it a light blade. But I hope you guys can like comment down below and give me a new name for it, because I could not think of a name for it. And Sakura, she hasn't really trained because she just doesn't like to train. And let me know if you guys want me to make her like not useless. But we're going to continue. So I'm going to skip the writing exams because it's pretty much going to go the same as normal, but Lloyd is just going to take control of Naruto's body and do all the answers for him. And yeah. So when we get to the forced to death part, Naruto still has the same interaction with Anko and Orochimaru. And now when they're in the forest of death, Naruto splits away from the group to go scout out to see if there's any ninja around that might have a different scroll than they do. So Naruto would then look around, and he would hear Lloyd yell, "Watch out!" Naruto would jump into the air, landing on a tree, and he would see a big snake strolling past, and it looked like it's set on one direction, in the direction near his teammate. So Naruto then begins to worry. He also sees a man on the back of the snake. This makes Naruto worry even more. So Naruto would then start to follow the snake. And then he sees the snake. It has stopped right in front of his teammates. And he's about to dive in to help Sasuke and Sakura. But then he sees Sasuke leap in the fight. Sasuke would yell, "Lightning style, tiger's claw." He would throw a punch at Orochimaru from a couple meters away, and Orochimaru will be confused until Orochimaru was hit with a lightning bolt. This lightning bolt paralyzes him for around 10 seconds. And this makes Sasuke pat Orochimaru down looking for a scroll. And when Sasuke sees Orochimaru has no scroll, he then looks down at Orochimaru, and Orochimaru is gone. Orochimaru is right behind Sasuke, and he kicks Sasuke into the tree. Before Sasuke can react, Orochimaru knees Sasuke in the stomach, and he then picks him up by his neck. Orochimaru will talk about how fascinating the Uchihas are, and that would give Sasuke time to put his hand on Orochimaru's shoulder, and then he would put his hand back on the tree. He would look at Orochimaru with a death glare, but then he would smirk. He would then turn into a log, and he would actually be above Orochimaru. Sasuke would yell, "Combust!" and a light red ember mark would light up on Orochimaru's shoulder and on the tree. Then Orochimaru would go up in flames. Sasuke, thinking he's won, would jump down to Sakura, and Sakura would be like, "Sasuke, that was so amazing." And he would say, "I know," before he feels a sharp pain in his neck. He turns around to see Orochimaru biting him on the neck. He then blacks out. Sakura is scared because she sees Orochimaru coming closer to her. She grabs a kunai and she tells Orochimaru to stay back or she'll hurt him. Orochimaru would just laugh at her. By this time, Naruto's had enough. His eyes are now a very dark red, and then they engulf in flames. He disappears from the tree branch he is on, and he appears right in front of Orochimaru. He punches Orochimaru in the gut, and then he yells, "Fire style! Flame vortex!" He would then burn Orochimaru. Orochimaru would then... Sorry for the disturbance. But, like I was saying, Orochimaru would be burned. Then he would jump back. Orochimaru would then turn into a bunch of snakes. Naruto realizes it was a clone, and he would yell, "Fire style! Royal Ember!" burning all the snakes. He would look around, and when he looked up, he would see Orochimaru was standing on some tree branches trying to hide his presence. Naruto would then disappear from Sakura's sight, and Sakura would be caught off guard and be amazed at Naruto's speed. Naruto would then appear right in front of Orochimaru. He would then punch Orochimaru down from the trees. Before Orochimaru could hit the ground, Naruto is already there, and he would kick him in the back and then slam both of his fists down on Orochimaru's stomach. Orochimaru slams down back onto the snake. and he hits the snake with so much force that the snake actually hits the ground. The head of the snake, it was like suspended in the air, but when Orochimaru hit it, it like brought the snake's head down, like if you were pinning it down to the ground or something. And then it weakly got back up. And when it got back up, Naruto is standing on the snake's head with Orochimaru. Orochimaru then realizes that Naruto is like a threat. And they get into a taijutsu battle, landing blow for blow, kick for kick. And every time one connects, the other punches harder. Naruto would then jump back and yell, "Lightning style! Gold lightning wolf!" The wolf would then run towards Orochimaru. And Orochimaru would then you know how he did that thing in Shippuden where he shed his skin, I guess, and turned into that snake? Yeah, he basically did that, went under the wolf, and the wolf hit his shedded skin. So, and then it dispersed itself, Naruto thinking that he got the job done. But then he would see Orochimaru right in front of him. And Orochimaru would kick him. Well, not kick him, but he hit him with his tail, I guess you could call it. And Naruto would be smacked into the tree. And before Naruto can get up, Orochimaru was holding him by the neck against the tree, and he tightens the seal on his stomach, making Naruto pass out. And before Orochimaru can finish the job, he throws Naruto towards Sakura, and he says, "I'll kill both of you right here and now." But Sakura then picks up Naruto and Sasuke and runs off. Orochimaru's like, "I don't have time for this. My wounds are serious, and I need to get healed up before I can try to attack again. Especially if one of those Jonin come around, or maybe even Hiruzen." So he leaves them alone for now. So from here on out, everything goes pretty much the same. Sasuke would wake up and do what he did. Yeah. Sakura cuts her hair. Yeah. And so after this part, sorry, they get another 2-week break. And Naruto is assigned a mission. His mission is to he's supposed to be scouting the area he's supposed to be scouting a nearby village to see if the Akatsuki members are there, told. And so Naruto would accept this mission and would go off to the village. The village is a couple miles away, so it takes him a couple hours to get there. But when he gets there, he meets up with a man with blonde hair and a wrapping over his arm. The man would then tell Naruto that he had seen the Akatsuki members over this way, and Naruto would follow him. And they would walk into the back of some alleys. And the man would point over there. And Naruto would see 2 Akatsuki members, Itachi and Kisame. And the man would then say, "They're right there. So are you going to dispose of them?" Naruto would say, "Well, that's not my job. And I just have to, collect data on what they're trying to do." The man would then say, "Well, I know where they go at night, so I'll take you there when the time is right." Naruto would be fine with that, and he would leave the old man. Well, he wasn't an old man. He would just leave the man. And I don't know why I said old man. Naruto would train for 3 hours, and then he would see the man. The man would tell him that it was time. So Naruto would follow the man back into the same alley, but then they would go through a door. And right when he went into a door, he felt a massive amount of bloodlust. And when he turned around, he seen the man holding, molding clay with his hand. And his hand had a mouth. Then, 2 little clay birds would fly towards Naruto. And the man would yell, I forgot what that jutsu is called. Basically, he puts his hands together and he says, bye. No, actually, forgot. He says, good night. Trying to knock Naruto out because they know Naruto is the nine-tailed Jinchuriki. And the man is Deidara. Yeah. This was all a setup. And before the bombs could go off, Naruto would move past Deidara, punch open the door, and fly into the air. The place would explode, and the building would collapse. Naruto would fly above them and say, that man, he's a psychopath. He's tried to kill me. Then he would hear a voice from behind him. He's like, no, he was only going to immobilize you. He turns around and he sees Itachi, Kisame, and Deidara. And Deidara is slipping on his Akatsuki robe. He's like, if you didn't know, I'm Deidara of the Akatsuki. And we've been looking for you, Naruto. Naruto says, well, I'm not going down without a fight. He would disappear and appear in front of Deidara, getting ready to punch Deidara. But Deidara would dodge this. And then Itachi would grab Naruto's arm and slam him onto the ground. Naruto sees that Itachi's no joke, because he knows Itachi, because he knew Sasuke before, everybody died, and Sasuke became Emo. So he knows how strong Itachi is. So he's like, I gotta get out of here. So he does the substitution jutsu, and as he starts flying away, he sees a fireball come from behind him. He would then yell, fire style, royal ember, and both the flames would clash. Naruto would then start running at full speed away, but Deidara was following behind him on a bird. Kisame was far behind because he's not really using any jutsu to speed him up, and Itachi is just he's real fast. So Itachi's trailing close behind. Naruto's Deidara is probably, I know Deidara is, or that man is weaker than Itachi. I can tell. So I just have to get Itachi off my back. Naruto would then fly high into the air, and he would then be trailed by Deidara. Deidara would send out 3 tiny clay birds to go explode on Naruto. And when they surrounded Naruto, Naruto would stop flying and let himself fall. He would then yell, lightning style, lightning bolt. His hands will come together, and his hands will come together, how Goku's hands come together when he's doing the Kamehameha wave, when he blasts it. His hands are out cupped like that, but sideways or horizontally, I guess. And a massive lightning bolt hits the bird that Deidara is on and explodes it. arrow then falls off the bird and hits the ground. But he doesn't die. Some trees had broken his fall. You know how it is in movies or shows. They like hit a couple branches, then they hit the ground or something. And they somehow survive. That's how that was. Naruto was like, well, I'm home free now. And when he's close to the village, he then feels something on his back. He turns around. It was a clay spider. The clay spider then detonated, and Naruto gets exploded. Naruto is just outside the village gates when this happens, and is picked up by two Jonin, and they bring him to the hospital. And when he's at the hospital, he has a change of mind, and he feels so angered that he was set up. Sorry. And his face is almost emotionless. Naruto would then leave the hospital room, and on his way out, he would ask the nurse how long he'd been asleep. The nurse would say a week and a couple of days. And he was like, well, I guess I should hurry up and meet with my team. And he goes to meet with Team 7. Now, we're going to get into the first couple rounds of the tournament. So everything goes the same, but this how. So Sasuke meets with Rock Lee. But instead of losing as bad as he did in the first one, he loses, but not as bad. You know? And Naruto actually challenges Rock Lee. And their fight goes something like this. So Rock Lee would disappear from Naruto's sight, but then he would appear right in front of Naruto. Naruto would then dodge this kick, saying he fought people much faster than Rock Lee. He would then deliver an uppercut to Rock Lee. Rock Lee would do a flip, landing on his feet, and then he would dash at Naruto, landing one punch on Naruto's face. When he was going to pull his fist back, Naruto grabbed his fist and punched him in the gut. He would then launch him into the wall. Rock Lee would then undo the bandages around his arms and run at Naruto, getting ready to deliver a primary lotus to Naruto. He starts circling Naruto, and when he gets ready to kick Naruto, he is then stopped by Guy Sensei. Guy Sensei would say, Lee, you know you're not supposed to use that move without my permission. Lee would then say, I'm sorry, Guy Sensei. You know, in that weird voice he does whenever he talks to Guy Sensei. And so, yeah, that went like that. And all the matches went the same. So, Sasuke easily wipes the guy he went against. Or Kabuto's goon. Naruto wipes Kiba. Rock Lee uses it to Gaara. So on. Now, here's where it gets interesting. So, Neji versus Hinata went the same, and Naruto lashed out on Neji. And Naruto was now not showing any remorse for Neji, like no remorse at all. So, they have a month break, and this is where Naruto trains with Jiraiya. But for most of it, he trains by himself, but then he starts training with Jiraiya. And this is where Naruto learns the Rasengan, and he was able to infuse it with his lightning style, like, effectively. So, he made a condensed Rasengan, and there's, like, a small ball in the middle, and it like, flashes with electricity in it. And that's the electric style Rasengan. And what it does is, it's like, when it hits the target, it paralyzes them, and it sends them flying, and they get, like, like second-degree burns because of the lightning, and it can like destroy like buildings if it want. Like if Naruto was to attack buildings with this jutsu, the whole building would be destroyed. And Sasuke goes through the same training, but a lot more intense. And yeah. And Naruto can also do Big Ball Rasengan. So the matches start, and Naruto is not playing no games. He turns into an ape, and he looks at Neji. Neji, not being really scared, but because he thinks he's gonna win anyway. He then tries to 64 palm Naruto, but Naruto just smacks him away, and he flies across the whole like field and hits the wall. Neji would then gather his thoughts, seeing as he had just got hit, and it like it sent him flying, and he was hurt by a weakling. He would then yell out to Naruto and start running back to Naruto. He would activate his Byakugan and then try to use 8 Trigger and 64 palms on Naruto once again. Naruto would slam his hand down on Neji, but Neji would use rotation, just barely stopping Naruto's hand. Naruto would then turn back into like his normal self, and Neji would oh, and sorry, I forgot. Yes, I'm making Naruto learn the Rasengan earlier than he was supposed to. Sorry if you don't like that, but that's what I'm doing. And when this happens, so when Naruto goes back to his normal size, and he doesn't need clones to make the Rasengan either, so he yells Rasengan, or lightning style, Rasengan, because I can't think of it. No, I gotta think of a different name for it. Rasenbolt. I can't think of a better name, so please comment down below a good name for it if you have a good name for it. But right now, I'm gonna call it Rasenbolt. So he charges at Neji while Neji's doing a rotation, and he gets ready to slam the Rasengan into Neji's hand, but then he is stopped by 5 Jonin. They tell him if he uses another move like that, he would be disqualified from the match. So Naruto calms himself, and then he yells, Fire Style, Royal Ember. The Ember would then burn Neji a little bit, burning his hands, and Neji would stop rotating. He would then get mad and say, now you can't swipe me away with your big palms. So he would activate his Byakugan and yell, 8 Trigrams, 64 palms. He would try to palm Naruto, but Naruto would just dodge all of his palms. And when he reached 64 palms, Naruto dodged it, pulling his arm and pulling him closer to him, and he like punches him in the gut. And then he like lifts him up, slams him on the ground. And before Neji can even try to get up, he holds his sword to Neji's neck. He says, give up. Naruto would say that to Neji. Then Naruto would win the match. Naruto would say, you're an excuse for, like, you're like a sad excuse to be like, basically he's saying you're not like that strong, you're a piece of trash pretty much. And he's only saying this because he's like mad because how Neji was talking down on Hinata, and how he's like he's like talking about destiny, and Naruto's like, I guess your destiny was to lose to me. And you walk away. So he does not change Neji. Because he is like very angry at Neji. But he's gonna train Neji later. Then Sasuke versus Gaara. That's the next most important fight. It pretty much goes the same, but Sasuke just wipes Gaara even worse than he did the first time. And Gaara turns into a half Shukaku. And here everything pretty much goes the same, but instead of Sasuke losing the whole time, because he was losing most of it, he actually was holding off against the merged Gaara, I guess, until the curse mark had messed him up. So when Naruto gets there, he kicks the heck out of Gaara. And Gaara lands on the tree branch. And and Naruto's not playing no games. He basically does a 2K barrage, but 4K. Just 4K. And he's beating the crap out of Gaara. And he forces Gaara to turn into Shukaku. And Naruto, he thinks he could use a summoning jutsu because he knows how to do it. But he can also turn into an ape. And Naruto was thinking about using the summoning jutsu, but then he hears Sakura yell out, and he turns around and he sees Sakura pinned to the tree. Because at first he didn't see Sakura pinned to the tree until she started screaming, but it was muffled screaming. So this angers him, and his eyes turn a deep red. But he also turns into the ape, and I'm talking about this ape right here. Yeah. He appears in front of Shukaku, and Shukaku would then shoot sand balls, I guess, at Naruto, and Naruto would grab the sand balls with all of his arms besides one, leaving one arm, to punch Shukaku in the face. Boom, he punches Shukaku. Then he uses his other arms to grab Shukaku, and he rips some of the sand off Shukaku with his top two arms. But with the other four, he picks up the head of Shukaku off the body. So he rips that part off the body, and the sand is trying to go back onto Shukaku's head, trying to connect each other so they can swipe away at Naruto. But Naruto will lift it up really high and slam his head down, and all the sand would catch Shukaku's head. Now when Gaara to snap out of his trance. And when the Shukaku reformed, it tried to slam its arm into Naruto, and Naruto would block it with 3 of his arms. He would then wrap all of his arms around it, pick up the full Shukaku, slam him on the ground, and so all that sand just landed on Gaara. So Gaara's he woke up from the trance, and he basically broke almost every bone in his body. This is some Deku stuff right here. He just used the full power of One for All, pretty much. Just broke every bone in his body, other than his skull. And Naruto still does give his speech to Gaara, but instead of him being beat up, he's just tired from exhaustion. So this changes Gaara. Yeah. And this is probably where I'm gonna leave it off. Once again, I am very sorry for not uploading for 3 weeks. So I had to give y'all an extra long video. Tell me what your favorite part was in the comments. Give me any ideas you have in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.